Do it. No, I think it went to the wrong scene. Sure. It still went to the wrong scene. Oh. There we go. And of course, then it messes up my camera. Because why not?
There we are. Woohoo!
What up, Heavy Tango? Beezy. All right.
Hello, guys.
So for good. So for tonight's topic, we have Miss B, Miss Queen Music, Mr. Ufall, and myself, and we're going to be discussing streaming and gaming and depression. Okay, go upstairs, please. Thank you, sir. And if it helps or does it hurt more? What's up, Blade? How you doing? Now I know there's various opinions of it and experiences of it. That's why we had a variety of people. What's up, Ish? How you doing? Into this. I think it does a little bit of both, and I think it all depends on the individual, what kind of streaming gaming they're doing, the environment that they're around. Because I noticed, like with Twitch and Mixer and YouTube, they're all three very different environments as far as gaming and streaming and the community that they are. Some communities are more toxic for certain games than others. Like the Call of Duty community. Very, very toxic if you're a gamer or streamer in that community. But do you guys, I'll go to Queen first. Do you feel that gaming and streaming help or make depression and anxiety worse?
Okay, gaming, it helps, but as far as people who also play that same game, it could not help if they, if you have something that is obviously out there. Like for me, I have a stutter, and some people on BO3, they like to, make fun of you for it and all that. And so in that way, doesn't help. But as far as escaping the real world and being able to, forget everything and just have fun, it does help in that way.
And B, what do you think?
I agree. And Blade also pointed out the first game that popped into my head was Overwatch, especially if you play games competitively. People who are incredibly toxic, and maybe you're not even doing anything that's necessarily bad in the game, but there will be people who just are on there to be toxic and who want to put other people's down because maybe it makes them feel better or whatever. But I do agree that there are also, it's a bonding thing that you can do for people who are in a game and you enjoy the same game. You can make friends, and that's how like a lot of us have all become friends, because we're in the same community or we play the same games and like we bond over those things. So yeah, there definitely is an aspect of both sides where it can be good and it can be bad.
Ufall?
Oh God, yes. Same issue with watch Call of Duty. Lately on Fortnite, a lot of messages from people who don't even know you and already want to like talk smack via direct DM just because they can. Yeah, I don't know. There are times in which you really need to decompress and vent out some steam from real life. So you jump on your console, you join your friends, right, and you do your thing. But I don't know. There's been now and then times when like instead of like actually helping you out getting out of that rut, like it puts you back in that funk. Like it makes it worse. So it comes and goes. There's many factors, like they said. It's not just the games, but like the community, the reception, how well or how bad a game is doing. Because like a patch can really make a huge difference. Like bring everyone back or just tilt everyone even worse. So it's a little bit of everything. Like when you need a break from real life, you go to your games. But sometimes like you may also need a break from your games. So yeah, man, it's a fun hobby, but it's still not all rainbows and sunshine every single time. So there's got to be a balance.
Well, and Blade Master said friends is a strong word. I'll go with acquaintances. I mean, it really all depends on the type of people that you are. Like a lot of my good friends I met gaming, Wicked Rage, Creed, Furious, and like over time we just started talking about like our day-to-day problems, or dealing with certain exes or future exes, or just the normal day-to-day stresses. So I think eventually it does become like a friendship, like a brotherhood, or sisterhood, whichever way you want to go. um but I think that aspect helps, but there's also that uh exactly, it should gives you someone to talk to and build relationships. But then you got to look at the other end, and unfortunately there is that other side of worrying about, okay, I don't really know this person. Is this person gonna find me? Is this person gonna you know turn people that are my friends against me, and all that other stuff. So therefore it adds to the anxiety, adds to the depression. For example, I know someone and they were part of this community, and they were a brotherhood. But as soon as they stated something that wasn't a popular opinion, they all turned. And, then that brought, okay, is it even worth it to put myself out there to continue the streaming, to continue gaming with other people? Maybe I should just, play by myself, or not even do it at all. Like there's that stream fatigue depression, as they call it, where it's not fun anymore. You're doing it as a job, and just like any job, eventually it gets to, okay, I don't love my job. I don't love to game anymore. I'm faking it to make it. So with that aspect, I think there is, it can make it worse and it can make it better. And then there's Mario Kart, which has turned us against each other. um, but see, that's just like little friendly competition of playing and stuff like that. But other people don't have it that easy. They some people you start streaming or gaming with other people as a way because like they were homeschooled, so they didn't really get that outside human interaction. It was just them and whoever was in their little group of people. And then sometimes it can be too much because you do have them trolls that try to push them buttons and try to hit them triggers. um so this is for all three of you, whoever wants to answer it first. um is there, or has there been any point where you were dealing with depression and like streaming or gaming made it worse or better? Like, anybody go first?
Well, I guess I'll go first. So I don't necessarily have any like anxiety or depression like clinically, but there are a lot of times, like especially when you first start out streaming, like it depends on your mindset too. When you first start streaming, you're thinking, "Oh, I want to make it big, like have all the numbers, have all the people come." And when you start getting into that focus, which we've all heard before, you see the tweets about it all the time, that you shouldn't focus on the numbers because it will make you depressed or make you sad or disappointed. But in reality, it's really hard not to think about the numbers because even if you're just doing it for a hobby, you still there's like that part of you that still wants people to show up and to continuously come back. And like there are some days that are really good, like you have a great turnout and like all your friends show up, new people come, new people follow you, you get bits and all kinds of stuff. And then the next day or even the same time the next week, there's nobody. And so it's like a almost like a stab to your confidence, I guess. And so that is something that I usually deal with is I'm not trying to think about the numbers, but like when you have those great days and then you have those days that aren't as great, it's kind of like, well, what am I not doing right? And like what's wrong with me that people aren't coming back? You know what I mean? So I think that's one thing that is kind of like the negative in streaming, depending on your mindset for it.
And do you think that that constant trying to one up, if you know what I mean, like one up the previous streamer, one up another streamer or gamer to try to make it, where you can be quote unquote bigger, um, do you think that plays a major role in streamers and gamers getting more depressed than if they weren't streaming or gaming?
Um, it could cause more of an anxiety or more of a stress because you are trying to think of different ways to one up yourself, or like to see what everyone else is doing, and it kind of like end up on this road of trying to be someone that you aren't, and sometimes that can put a lot more stress on you, um, and like other people usually isn't always like a great, because sometimes we do things that maybe aren't necessarily like ourselves. And so like you can get lost in like trying to be famous or trying to get people to like you so they'll come back. And so I think it definitely can increase your anxiety, because you want people to like you and you don't want to say something that people aren't going to like. And like that's kind of sometimes what I do too, really filtering myself, but there are like times where maybe you say something that it can be taken out of context, and you see it all the time too. Um, Cause drama over something that is taken out of context, and then that puts a lot of anxiety on you because people might be attacking you for whatever reason, or people getting death threats for various things and all those sort of things.
Yeah. Blade Master said he honestly thinks it comes down to whether or not you're gaming with friends, even if it's just one, because they'll back you up. If especially in streaming, he's been streaming a lot more with B and Gabs, a lot more, and it's been 10 times as fun than streaming alone. Because even if there's 0 viewers, you still have a good time with your friend. Well, exactly. And
That's very true.
like me personally, I didn't get into streaming to make it big. I figured I was gaming anyway, so might as well do it. Um, and see, I'm the opposite. I don't filter myself. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't care because at the end of the day, I'm still going to be me. And if they don't like me for me, then they can get the out of here. And that's just how I am. That's how I am in real life. That's how I am, in streaming and gaming. That's why I have the select friends that I have, because they're the ones that can deal with me and they know if they ask me something, I'm going to be honest. Um, and that's just how I am. Like, there's no point because you can't please everybody. Oh, thank you, Kill. Greatly appreciate that. Because I had the mindset you can't please everybody, no matter what.
True.
There's always going to be that one person that wants to be a little a-hole and ruin your good day. It happens. Like she said, instead of supporting somebody that has a condition or whatever, they attack them for it. Instead of, hey, very few times where you see it where they're actually supporting. There is a streamer out there that has Tourette's, and she has an awesome community. I give her credit, because instead of them tearing her down, they're building her up. They're building up a confidence where she can just be who she is and not have to worry about her ticks or her coming out with random swear words or the random stuff that she does. But she makes a joke out of it, and I think that's helped her deal with it. And the same question goes for you, Queen. Um, I know you're newer to the streaming front than me or B. Um, do you feel that it's helping or it's making certain aspects worse?
Um, I don't know. Sometimes it can help, and then sometimes it doesn't help, but it doesn't make it worse at all. It's just like a way to get out there and try to make new friends or try to, entertain. But I don't think it ever makes anything worse unless there's somebody there to make it worse. Like I don't think it's ever making it worse without having somebody there to do it. If you get that.
Yeah. Well, and we bring up the zero viewers, or the zero
Yeah.
people talking to you. Do you think that that makes it worse for someone, or um, or if they're already playing the game, why not? Why worry about the numbers?
Yeah, I mean, it all goes back to what B said about how you have a great stream where a lot of people show up and they chat and everything, and then the next day or something like that, they could just be not there at all. And I think that does tend to motivate a lot. At the same time, though, for me, I tried my very best not to, and most of the time, I don't really try. I don't want to say that I am able to completely, but most of the time I just focus on the game, and so I don't really let it get to me. There are times that it does, but then a lot of the times it just doesn't because I don't know, I just am too into the game. I'm having fun with whoever I'm in the game with that I just don't even know that there's like no one there. So, yeah.
Well, and Heavy said he fell out of love for streaming until he came into TPwn, and the support of the team and the uplifting from members made me fall in love with it again. And that that matters whether or not you've got the one person that's always there no matter what. Like every stream, they're there, or 90%. Because people have real life stuff. Sometimes stuff happens. And that's what it is. Some people worry about bigger numbers. Some people worry about the people that are there all the time. What up, Feisty? What about you, Yufa? I know you're more newer to the streaming, aspect as well.
Oh yeah.
Has there been times where you feel like the streaming's made it worse, or your anxiety, gets worse at certain moments when you're streaming or before you stream? And again, what Blade Master said, is playing with friends make it easier, even if you don't have numbers,
Oh God.
he completely
No,
just
because I
spaced
can't
out
hear
on
you.
it.
No, it's just like you stuck. I don't know. Like I didn't know if I
It's
was
okay.
like, oh wait,
I know.
no.
He's just ignoring
Yeah.
Joker.
No, I'm
All right,
not.
well, cool. Thanks for
Okay,
stopping by.
so well, let's just say, I know I'm not a material, so definitely I don't do it because, I want to build my way up to the pros, right, and reach the Overwatch League. It's not gonna happen. So I'm like, that's why I do variety, right? Because I mean, I don't want to keep up with the Joneses and be like, oh, like Fortnite's hot right now, like I gotta go play Fortnite and eventually I'll catch up to Ninja. No, it's not gonna happen. But like sometimes I will play certain games that I do enjoy, and it shows. Like when you enjoy it, even if you're like bad at it, people will come in and chill with you. And even if you try a new game and you suck at it, sometimes you suck so bad that it's entertaining. So I don't know. When I do my best, sometimes I have no one watching, and when I do my worst, like people stick around because like it's funny. When I get tilted, they kind of see me fail. So it's a little bit of everything. It's a mixed bag. So I try to do it as casual as possible. If somebody else there joins and show up, it's good. If not, like at least like you said, yeah, I'm still gaming. I was gonna do it anyway. So hey, like yeah, look at me, just go. But there are times in which I've had fatigue, not so much depression out of the streaming, saying like, oh, screw this, it's not worth it, nobody cares, I have no talent. It's not about that, right? Because I just do it for the games anyway. Like with or without the camera, I react the exact same way. But there are times in which I was like, like you said, it felt like a job though, like a second job. It's a fun job, but it's still a job. You're like, okay, like, why can't I just game for me like I did before, right? Or I always have to play multiplayer, and then you look at your backlog. Your backlog can add like a lot of attention to you. It's like, oh, I want to play Borderlands 3, but I haven't beaten Borderlands 2. You're like, do I finish it in one weekend, or do I do it in a session throughout the week so people can watch and tag along with me, maybe even like backseat gaming to help me with it. So I don't know. And then like when you set that kind of goal and you put like, yeah, I'm gonna go like real strong 4 hours a day, 7 days, etc. After a while you get tired. After a while, like you had such a horrible shift during your day job that I was like, man, like right now I don't even want to like game. I want to go to a bar. I want to get a drink. I want to like binge things on Netflix because it's just like there's so many options for entertainment right now. Like it's a fight over your time, right? It's a battle. Like who's gonna take your next couple hours? A game, a show, a brand new movie, or do you just want to not do it at all and maybe go out and do some IRL stuff? So after a while, you get tired. It's like I just came back from work and from like BS from Lifetime, right? Would it be like a fight with someone or something? So it does even that could like take all your energy away from gaming, and that in a way puts streaming right in the middle, like throws it under the bus, and you have to sacrifice us both. So yeah, I've been gotten tired. It's been wearing me out, and you see a lot of these tweets of people apologizing, streamers going like, "Hey, sorry, I can make it today. I'll make it up to you."
I don't.
It's easier to understand when there's like a hardware issue. I know you don't, but most people do it like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry," like it's the worst thing. Like someone's gonna like
Point
hurt
them.
you.
Well, and I
Exactly, because it's
understand
your
why they
community.
do.
So
I understand why
yeah.
they do. All right, Kill, and I think that's a lie, Kill, because he said I'm myself except when I rage, because that's not me in life. I'm usually a really chill guy. But anybody that rages in a game is gonna rage in life. You have that. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Me.
And like Ish said, sometimes if you just be yourself, it's the best thing. I like goofing around. I like having fun. I like cracking jokes. And like same thing with Furious. Furious found his shtick with Destiny. That's why he's Mr. Destiny,
Yeah.
because that's what he plays. That's where he gets the most, viewership, and he loves the game. And that's another thing. You got to make sure that you love what you do, whether or not it's not necessarily the streaming aspect, but I think the gaming aspect, if you mix it, you know. Um,
Wait, I have a question for you all though. Now that I brought that up, has streaming ever been so bad for you that it's actually made you consider not just walking away from it, but walking away from gaming altogether?
No.
Have you ever felt so bad that you were like, you
No.
went like, I need a new hobby or something?
No.
Because
No.
I've seen a few
No.
people mention that on the internet,
Hey,
and I was like,
Rhino.
what do they do to you? Like, it can't be. I don't know.
Even
It
if I
seems
would
huge
step away
though.
from streaming, I would never step away from gaming.
Yeah.
Gaming has been part of my life since I was a little kid. It would never change. That aspect, no matter what, would never change.
Same here. That's why I was surprised to see those type of comments though.
Well, but I could see it, because they have their gaming and streaming entwined. They don't separate. They have it entwined. They're like, this is streaming. I'm streaming games to make blah 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 blah. While
True.
other people, they're gaming and they're like, I might as well stream.
Right.
Me,
Yeah.
I
'Cause-
probably
Alright.
would never step away from gaming, but I would step away from a certain game. Like I stopped playing Overwatch for a while because the comp was toxic and all that sort of stuff, and it was just not
yes.
fun to play. And then I like got back into it, and it was fun for a while, and then it kind of ended up being the same kind of thing where it was just maybe not entirely gaming, but there would be games maybe that I would step away from.
Yeah, Rage said her anxiety is always higher right before a stream and she can't go live because of it, but gaming would never stop for me. And see, that's the same like OG Mr. T. He is one of the most supportive people. He will support a stream,
Oh yeah.
and he's entertaining when he streams, but he has that anxiety where when he goes to press that live button, he has to take a step back, but he'll still play the game, you know and it's the same thing, people might not come in, or people might do this, and some people can't get over that aspect of what might happen. while you have some people that just, it's whatever. Like, what's the worst thing? You know, I've been called grandpa, racist, skinhead, old, a POS father that don't take care of his kids because my kids were playing, you know, in the living room and beating each other up because, you know, that what kids do. And, I just go, you must not have kids, because if you think that's not me watching them, then you really don't have kids, because they fight, they argue, they beat each other up. That's how it is, you know. Heavy said it keeps me going after a long day of stress. I love to just sit and play. Exactly. And I think like part of the anxiety, and it's not the anxiety of, oh, I can't stream because of it, but the anxiety of, oh, I have to. I have to stream. I have to keep doing this every day. You know, that can add up to it and make it worse. You know, because you do have them toxic people that, you know, attack you, what you look like, how old you are, and stuff like that. You know, and streaming is scary. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. It's not, oh, you know, some people stream better without a camera, because then they don't have to worry about people asking what they look like. There's a streamer, and he's not a big streamer, but I forgot his name, but he has this character, but it's him, but it's this cat. It's a World War II cat, and that's what he uses, you know, for his cam, because he don't want to deal with people, you know, discussing his looks and, you know, running their mouth about what he looks like, how old he is, you know, and all this other stuff. Do you think that the toxic people will ever stop doing it, or if that's just going to be a thing that we deal with to the end of time?
Well, unfortunately, trolls are everywhere. They're never gonna win. So it's more like how you deal with them, or have your mom deal with them. The good thing is, like, at least you can, mute certain people, type them out, this and that, so you don't have to put up with all those things. But I mean, the most they can get is your attention. So eventually, like, yeah, if it's hard to be the grown up and take the higher road, but sometimes like ignoring them before like your mod team does something about it could work. Or sometimes turn their jokes on them. Either that might bring them around or embarrass them. Like, you got them back, that they're probably just gonna leave and try to bug the next person. Who knows? It's hard, but they're always gonna be there. There's always bridges for every single troll, fortunately. So yeah.
I agree on that. There will always be people that are like that. And what Tango said, it hurts more than people think. Like, you're being made fun of for even things that you can't control. Like he said, his age. Like, people will find something to make fun of, even if it's not even really something that is substantial for any reason. But it's just how you react to it a lot of the time is like you said, turn the jokes back on them. But like, if you ignore them, or if like your mods ban them immediately, a lot of the time, like, if you don't show emotion towards them, then they'll just leave because they're not getting a rouse out of you.
Well, in Blade Master, I understand limiting
satisfaction.
limiting yourself to single player games, but then you don't have that interaction. Like me, Rage, Athena, and I think it was Feisty was playing H1Z1 one day, and I was streaming it, and this dude comes in my stream, and he's one of the teams that we're playing against, and he starts running his mouth, and he called me a grandpa, and then Grandpa schooled him, and I said, how does it feel that you just got whooped by grandpa? You know, or, they would talk stuff about, Rage and Feisty being girls. And I'm like, how does it feel knowing that you just got owned by a girl? Like, that's, there's plenty of girls that can beat me at shooter games. Don't phase me one way or the other.
No why that's an insult anymore. Like, oh, you're game like a girl. Like, okay, great.
I mean, there's plenty of girls that would be great in esports, but
I know some of them.
Oh yeah, I love the Telltale games like Walking Dead and the Batman game, and Feisty remembers. But like, see, like I said at the beginning, I feel it really all depends on the type of person you are. Some people can get over the anxiety, and some people it makes it a lot worse. Um, what are some ways that you guys deal with your anxiety and or depression, like whichever one is your guys's cup of tea or both? How do you get over that anxiety to try to game or stream, like it either one? Anybody?
Well, to cope with anxiety, sometimes you can turn off your cam or even send your mic and just put in a title like, hey, like late night run of whatever, no cam, no something, which is kind of stupid because like it takes away from the interaction, but sometimes you're like, you still want to like play and, like I know there's people who want to watch you, but I don't know, man, they'll get it because they've been through that, so it's fine. There's also a lot of lurkers that are not gonna talk to you even if you have a face and cam on, so it's looking for them, I guess, right? But I don't know. Sometimes like if you um don't necessarily need to take a break from streaming. You just have to change after a while. Like B said, like, oh, I've been playing a lot of Overwatch and it's not fun anymore. It was my go-to game and it brought me a lot of viewers. What can I do today that won't get me excited because I'm not enjoying Overwatch? Then you probably switch your stream a little bit. Like, okay, we're gonna try an indie game, or today I'm gonna do, I don't know, karaoke or something like that, right? Let's do IRL, or put it to a vote and you tell me what you want me to play. So that little interaction while you wait on your chat to tell you what they want, or just kick it, just chill for a while before you even boot up a game, could probably help you alleviate the stress, and then you go back and after you take your break with them, do a little more interactions and all that, then you feel the confidence, it comes back on, you're like, oh, okay, now I can start the game, okay, now I can show my face, all right, now I want to be on the camera because everyone's like talking and we're engaging, so I guess I'm feeling better and ready to go. It's a little bit of everything, but if you need to break, it's also understandable. Just let your audience know. So, like he said, you don't disappoint your community. Take your break and then come back stronger in a day or two. It's okay. We all need it. We're human after all. How about you guys?
And like Heavy said, he would rather stream without a camera. Um,
Same.
Me personally, I don't care one way or the other if I have a camera or not. Like I just do my thing. Like I brush it off. I don't like. To me, gaming helps relieve that stress and anxiety for me. And a lot of time I don't even pay attention like with the camera and stuff. So I have it on, off. It don't matter to me. But I think just that interaction, playing games with other people, and just venting, like venting to the stream or venting to whoever I'm playing with at the time, um, just helps me more. And um, I do a lot of talking outside of streaming and Twitter, and like I talk to Asus and Rage, and I have a whole list of people I talk to, and I think that's what really helps. Just get over that little hump if I have it. Um, and helps relieve the stress where I don't, blow off. Asa said, for me, the more you allow them to get to you, the more they will do it,
Yeah.
and that's true. But
Mm-hmm.
you also have that depression, anxiety, even if you don't have the trolls. You know,
Yeah.
even if you
Yeah.
don't have the people
It's an
attacking
internal
you on your
struggle
stream.
sometimes.
Sometimes it's just that inner struggle. Okay, is it even worth it? Etc., etc., etc. Um, for the ladies, what is some tools that you use to try to get over that hump if you deal with the anxiety or depression, or do you even get over that hump fully?
Um, for me, I know playing with somebody else while I'm streaming does tend to help. Have somebody else there to talk to and play with and everything, and if need be, then to like defend you or be there for you. Um, I don't think I ever really get over it. I just try to forget about it and push it down while I stream, if that makes sense. Normally I don't even know it's there unless there is again somebody or something like me bringing it up back into my head. Hey, you don't like this about you, so don't do this. Try to hide that. That type of thing, which is why sometimes I do like not okay, I like not having a camera just because I don't have to like I don't have to worry about how I look. I can wear a shirt and have my hair in a bun or something like that, and no camera means you can't see. So it's a lot
Yeah.
more comfortable. But
For sure.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Asa said you should never hide the person and the personality that you are to please other people. Exactly. And sometimes people just don't have the camera on because, they want to be in their underwear when they're playing their video game.
exactly. Overall,
Yes.
Or as Miss Jones's favorite
That was for the
saying is
win.
no pants Sunday, as she put it.
Yep.
exactly. And I think um it's not wanting to hide a part of it's not that you want to hide you as a person. It's that you try to hide something about you that you don't like, that you don't exactly want to put out there, just because people will um try to bring you down because it might be an insecurity of yours, and it's something that you fight with every day. And no matter how hard you fight, no matter how hard you're like, all right, I can do this, I can get over it, I just have to try to hide it a lot. And you might get upset when it's like, there's a slip, it came out again. And they might be like, they might, having those people in there who try to tear you down when you're trying to just push it down and not think about it, it hurts because it brings it back up. And it's like, yes, I know I have that. I know that's an insecurity of mine. I know it's a flaw. You don't have to point out. We all know our flaws. Why do you have to point them out too? I get so upset over that. But yeah.
Going along with that too, like with the insecurities and stuff, and like the flip side, I think it's also like a good way for people who have those same like insecurities or like things that maybe they have like quirks that maybe they don't like or they do like or whatever. But I think that it's a good way for those people to connect with each other,
Yeah.
just the internet in general, and not necessarily just streaming or just gaming. But like you can find people that have more similarities with you, and like the quirks and stuff like that, that or like even just interests that you have. And it's an easier way to like communicate with people and get to know people a
Oh,
little bit
yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Now, do you think it's worse for a female streamer and gamer dealing with the depression and anxiety? We already know they have a harder time with the trolls. We already know that one. Um,
I'm,
what's up, Matt? Do you feel that for a woman streamer or gamer that it's a lot harder for them because they are attacked so much? They are, I don't want to necessarily say made fun of, but you know, they do have the trolls that attack them based on their looks or their weight or other things. Um, and how do you think? What tools can a woman streamer use to try to you know get over that and not believe? I don't want to even call it hype because it's not hype. It's just trolls being trolls, but get over those attacks and the people that are attacking them on Twitter or Discord or Twitch, Mixer, whatever front that they're using.
I think it is a bit harder for women, but at the same time, it's a lot easier for them to get noticed and for them to get viewers and all that, because of the fact that guys tend to like watch them for how they look. With that being said, the ones that don't look as good, it's a lot harder for them. So I think it goes a bit with like, it's not the same, but it's not very different, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Any tools they use, I just friends, somebody there to help you out, somebody there to defend you. I don't really know how I put up with it. Like I don't know. I don't know if I just ignore it or if I just like ignore it or push it down, I guess. I don't know. I not good with that one.
Yeah, and I agree with Heavy. People are just disrespectful in general sometimes, but
Yeah.
thankfully I haven't had like in regards to like me being female, but I've had some people who come in and they just say like obnoxious things or like have some sort of like sexual innuendo that they try to like pass into my chat. But my couple mods and they're pretty good about like immediately just banning those people. So I think it is true. Like one way that you can have just to have someone there who does back you up or who gets rid of those people from your chat so that they can't be in your channel and they can't bother you. But is it necessarily harder being a female streamer? I'm not really sure because it, like she said, it is a bit different in like how we face things because we each have different things that bother us or like different views against us. But I do often see, and this is probably just because I follow a lot of females on Twitter, but there's always people talking about like people sending them things that they didn't want to see in their DMs or like other things like that. So I think it just depends a lot on the person.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay, Bouncer, I have a question for everyone. After, let's say you took a break because you had a bad experience, right? You weren't feeling great, and then you wake up one day, you're doing better. What are the things that motivate you to keep going? You know, what are the great things about streaming that say like, you know what, this is worth like sticking with, right? And my community needs me, and I need this to feel good, and you know, it's not worth letting go of because of trolls and a bad day or something. I don't know what are like the best things about streaming for you that you know like keeps you just going in this whole thing. That's for the three of you.
I can pretty much say them all and not care. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like
Yeah.
like I said, how I am out here is how I am on stream. I don't sugarcoat. I don't change for to please the masses. I play what I play. I say what I say, and some people, it might hurt their feelings, and they may think I'm insensitive, but that's how I am. And it may seem that I'm insensitive, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat something because sometimes people don't understand it when you sugarcoat it, and then you just have to be like, listen, like, that's just me. I don't use what people come at me with, to affect my day to day because I'm still gonna do what I'm gonna do. Like
Right.
I suck at basketball games, but I still play them. I suck at shooter games, but I still play them. I never said I was good. Never said I was the best. I'm just playing it to play it.
Yeah.
And Blade said, about what we were discussing earlier about a streamer that created a character for their channel, and he used that to create Blade because he was able to be more confident when he was on stream. So
Mm-hmm.
like he has that persona on stream, but he's a different, you know, kind of person in real life.
Yeah, he's not like that off cam. Yeah, I guess like I have about not just Twitch, but like all platforms are go that way. You know, it's like, hey, I'm the same camera on, camera off, doesn't matter. And then there's a one that brings the character, right? And then you meet the model. It's like, I thought you were a lot more outgoing. And you know, it turns out they were introverts, but gaming helped them come out of their shell.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. To me, like what Heavy and Mama said, it's really important. You know, and like you have your close group that it's always there to show the love. You know, like friends and all that make it a lot better for sure. How about you being Queen?
So just to clarify, your question is about like the things that you like about streaming, right?
Yeah.
Well, things that I liked about streaming is like was that before I was even in a gaming community, which has I think been the best part of the gaming part, because you meet a lot more people like that. But like just streaming with people in general was like you found people who liked games similarly to you, and that's actually how I met some people was by playing those games. They would be like, "Oh, hey, can I play with you?" And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, sure, you can join." And then like I still play with those people now from time to time too. Um,
Cool.
so I definitely think that has probably been my favorite thing is just being able to interact and like communicate with people who enjoy similar things as me.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And
Like
Queen.
quantum.
I was trying to find that comment. Yeah, I like interacting with the chat and everything. I like to be able to like, talk to them while I play. I like to be able to, um, mm, I have been told that I'm very entertaining, because I do rage a lot, and because I am weirdly funny, I guess you could say. Like, out of nowhere, I talk about the most random things all the time. I will always find su- su- something to say because I think a
Squirrel.
stream, yeah, I think a stream that's too quiet is a bit boring to me, if that makes sense. I think like I don't know. I think that if I'm too quiet, they'll find me boring. Like she's not even saying anything. I don't want to just see her play. I want her to try and talk and all that. Which is why I will always be saying something, the most random thing ever. I will always say it. But that's something that I kind of enjoy. I enjoy being able to just like be weird and be out there and be, this and then this and then this and then this all in like 5 minutes because I feel like that's just fun and you never know what's gonna happen or what you're gonna get or what I'm gonna say. And so yeah,
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's what makes you you.
Well,
exactly.
Sorry,
Kill
go ahead,
said he
Joker.
tries to have fun, but he's too competitive, so it's hard to not get mad. Well, see, there's a difference of being mad and mad. Like I'm
Yeah,
very
big time.
competitive. Rage is very competitive, but she will throw down, like and it's the same. Like you can be mad and then mad. There's a difference. At least I feel.
Break that controller mad.
Breaking the controller, throwing the controller.
Yeah.
Quantum, welcome. But yeah, like that's the way I see it. It's what makes you unique, and because you can rage and not care. Like
Exactly.
some of my favorite streamers rage. Like Creed, I like watching him rage playing Call of Duty. It's fun. Or rage when she really starts raging, it is the funniest thing ever. That's just how it is. Um, I like watching you fall play.
Xbox only.
I like watching you fall do Twitch sins because it's fun.
Ooh, thank you.
Or when Aces does it, because he has his
Oh
little
yeah,
tiger doing it, and he will totally burn that song and not care. I know you did.
I love making my fool of myself with my horrible voice on any day.
It means you're not horrible.
Thank you, but I'm not good.
But
Yeah.
when Queenie was talking, it made me think of something because she was saying like when streams are quiet or like someone's not really saying anything or maybe there's not really much going on. When I first started streaming, I was really concerned about being entertaining, I guess. And like when you go on the internet, there's like so many different things that people tell you, like, oh, be your own entertainer, talk to yourself, and like all these other things. And then like people, if maybe you're not super comfortable talking to yourself, like that causes a lot of people anxiety. And it did me at first because I was like, I don't know what to say to myself. I don't even know what to talk about. Um,
But see, there's a difference in
so
talking
like
to yourself and answering yourself.
I
That's the hard
guess,
part.
yeah.
You can talk
Well,
to
yeah,
yourself all
that too.
day, when you have to answer yourself, that's the
do.
hard one.
Yeah.
Oh god, yes.
So it's just like, when you are starting out and you're like stressed about how do you make your stream good, if that's what your goal is, like if you want it to be something more than just like a hobby or like hanging out, So
And then
That's a
there's
really good point. Yeah,
FIFA, which
I know I've
is
stopped watching a few people because they weren't. But then, like B said, it gets to you. I'm like, oh, what if my gameplay, even if it's good, like, am I the boring one here? Again, the numbers mess with you. Even if you say that you don't care, like it's still there lingering somewhere, like whisper in the back, like, hey, like,
exactly.
where's your community? And yeah,
Mhm.
that fear of failure brings that depression. So somewhat the cycle never ends. Unless,
true.
like Joker said, just don't let it get to you. But it's hard. It's an art, and it takes a while to like really not care while still being there somehow.
Mm-hmm.
It works, but I haven't mastered that yet. So yeah, much respect to everyone who can.
Played said that's me in FIFA.
No,
Only 2?
I can see that Blade.
Yeah, he said he's broke 2 controllers.
Wow.
Only 2.
I don't think I've ever broken one from raging.
I stopped
Same.
after like
I have.
it hurt my wallet.
Few.
I've broken a few, then it's like no, it's too expensive. So the same thing happened with my mouse. My mouse was fine until 2 weeks ago. You see? Never
Darn
again.
Overwatch.
I don't want to replace it. Right? Yeah, like it's so expensive. I'm not doing that again. Sorry.
Tango said he's
Well,
broken it
Tango.
too.
Wow.
Did you like check the controller at it?
Or that
Well,
one guy
like the
that
Wii nunchuck, maybe just slip. Like you didn't have the strap on. I don't know.
I have no handle grips on one of my controller from my golf game on black mark on the wall.
Rip.
I mean, I seen this one stream, and this dude literally punched his monitor, like
Oh.
right on stream, and all you seen was the fist coming to the camera. And
Jeez.
Miss. So do either one of you ladies have any questions that you came up with, or? No? No? Why are you all quiet now? Do you feel with how big streaming is getting, and I say how big it's getting because I still don't think it's reached its peak yet, because every day we have more and more streamers. Do you think like doctors are going to start looking more into the depression and anxiety with gaming, and start treating that?
I think their main focus right now is gaming addiction, not necessarily them being depressed or anxious because or gaming, but like people who obsessively game all the time.
Me. But is it really an addiction, or are they just looking for an excuse?
Well, when I did some research on it, it was talking about whether or not there's even something like as technology addiction, because it's like what part of it is out of necessity and what part of it is just you like constantly looking at it. You know what I mean? Like when we look at social media, like constantly looking at our phones and stuff, like is that addiction or is that just necessity of job or whatever? So
Habit.
yeah, habit.
Yeah. I don't think
I
it's
find myself
addiction.
looking at my phone a lot with there's
Same.
nothing there, but I'm just looking at it.
Same. I don't think there can be an addiction. I think it can be like a passion for it. But addiction, I wouldn't use that word. I mean, I'm sure there can be. Like, I'm sure there is somebody out there who does it all the time and literally doesn't ever sleep or eat or anything like that. But, like, except for in those rare and extreme cases, I would just say there are just a lot of people who have a passion for it, and that's okay. That's a okay. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And people who like deal with PTSD, there is actually a therapy that's virtual reality therapy, and they have been using it a lot more recently because of technology advances and stuff like that. But they might be using more things because virtual reality and gaming. They may be able to use that for some type of therapy. So, I mean, it could be like the potential for them to be looking more into how gaming also is beneficial for people. Because they have looked a lot about like how, gaming makes people aggressive or like, that teaches them things that are not okay in society. Um, in regards to like maybe GTA or whatever, like younger kids looking at those things and maybe thinking that they're okay. So I think there is that aspect too.
See, like
Hmm.
with video games and violence, I don't necessarily agree with that because
Mhm.
I played video games almost my whole life. I think the first time I played a video game was on Atari, and then went to GoldenEye and stuff like that, and I never even thought about like going running down the street with a gun and just shooting everybody just
Right.
because. So I think
Yep.
that's just a matter of opinion, you know, for them, or a way for them to try to get certain other aspects. Um, but as you brought up the virtual reality thing, do you think that will be used for depression and anxiety to try to help people more? Or is it just going to be like something on the back burner that they have?
Um, I mean, I don't know because I don't know exactly what all the like the capabilities of virtual reality in regards to depression and anxiety. I mean, I'm sure because really it's for exposure therapy. And maybe in terms of anxiety, it could be because, like, if you face something that makes you anxious and you learn how to deal with it, then you are more likely to be able to overcome it. So I think maybe in that terms, that you could use virtual reality and sense of gaming and things to kind of face things that make you uncomfortable, and be able to work through them more easily.
Mm-hmm. All right. Does anyone in the audience have any questions between streaming as well as mental health?
I want to add something a little more to what you guys were, talking about, like addiction and like the perception of the whole thing. Uh, I'm a little mad sometimes because I feel like the media blows it out of proportion. Like there's been plenty of studies out there that talk about all the benefits that come to gaming, right? Like for all ages, right? There's still the stigma that the gaming's for kids, gaming's for losers, this and that. Like that hasn't gone away. It's gotten better, but and the numbers are there, but just I don't know, we still have to work with that. But like Joker said though, it's like, I mean, I wonder what kind of video game, like violent video games, the Roman Empire and the Huns had back there, right? That could like make them want to like invade each other. I don't know. It makes
They had the
no sense
games. They
though.
had the gladiator games, bro.
Yeah, but see, like again, it comes back to entertainment. It's like, how is like me playing one evening for 4 hours any worse than me binge watching one show's like brand new season in one sitting, right? Like when they sell you a book, that they're like, hey, buy this book because you won't be able to put it down. But now gaming is become so much of an art with how beautiful it looks and how like well written they are. Like let's say The Last of Us is a great story, right? Like, why are we gonna like praise someone who read a book the whole night, but me because I want to beat The Last of Us in one sitting, I have a problem, right? I mean, if I were to stop my day-to-day life because like I'm not feeding myself for gaming, or I'm not going to work because I wrote the game, then yeah, I may have a problem. But if I'm not really, taking away like from my daily activities and I'm not really hurting anybody, like, why that double standard? See, that there's a lot of things that have been misinterpreted out there, and hopefully we'll change that image soon. Like, like for example, for you ladies, I know like the numbers say that like it's half and half. Like when it comes to like gaming, it's like, hey, it starts with like, I don't know, ages 10 or below, and people up to like their 50s 60s play, and half of gamers that really are women, half of women's really are men. So it's like the whole thing about like, oh, like gaming's for kids, or grandpa shouldn't gaming stupid, or or offending a girl for gaming. It's like, dude, no, like they buy a lot of games and they play them better than we do. Just let that go. When are we gonna learn? I don't know, man. There's so many things about like outsiders that talk about gaming that don't understand that I really don't like. But hopefully we'll change that.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be getting better, and same with streaming. But for now, we're still somewhat of a misunderstood bunch. I don't know if it's good or not. I think those things also, like that bad reputation, adds to the depression, though. As people, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to be pictured as that guy or that girl who just sits in their parents' basement and plays video games all the time. Like, I feel like that's the imagery that people kind of associate with gamers, is like, oh, you're just gonna game for the rest of your life and you're not gonna accomplish anything. But I mean, there's a lot of people that have, great jobs and they do stuff and they make great money, but they
Yeah.
just love to play video games. So that, I guess it's kind of like there are many worse things that you could be doing other than gaming. So
Absolutely. Now that you mentioned job, gaming has opened up a lot of opportunities. There's journalism, there's streaming, there's developing, there's commercial side of marketing for them. So it's like you can have a career that you like, about a hobby that you like, and like not be miserable. Have you guys ever had what? No, thinking back of what B said. Have you guys had somebody like tell you that kind of thing, like, hey, when are you gonna do something with your life? Put that controller down and go out, and I don't know, like, why are you like not married yet, or why are you like not getting a different job because you're wasting your time gaming? Has that ever happened to you? I think we all have, right?
No.
I still get that crap every now and then. Like seriously.
Whenever I take the kids to school, they tell their friends that I play video games all day. That's my job.
best thing ever.
So then the
You're the
parents,
cool dad, though.
then the parents look at me and like, that's not a real job. Sure it is.
Oh God, those words again.
Well, I mean,
It is now.
there's an entire organization of people who go competitively play games and they
Mhm.
make great money. So, I mean, clearly they're doing something that they enjoy and they're making good money. So it is a job.
And let's get it right, Tango. Wrestling's not fake; it's scripted. There's a difference because you're still taking them hits to the body. You're still putting your body at risk. You're still doing all that stuff, and it's the same thing here. You're still putting the time and the effort into being an entertainer. I don't even call it being an entertainer, but that's the mainstream word. I just call it doing what I do. Like I feel that yeah, I may be entertaining, but that doesn't make me an entertainer. Entertainers, them actors that put on movies and stuff like that. But in a sense, we do. We provide a service. Um, whether it's just talking crap, talking crap about the game, being a rager. Some of my favorite streamers, like I said, are ragers. I love watching them rage, and they will rage about. Crete raged on a fishing game.
What?
A fishing game. He was fishing and he raged on it.
Couldn't catch that trout.
His line kept on breaking, so he raged on it.
Oh,
And like those are my favorite kind of streams sometimes because you see this guy and he's just da 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 and then mother da 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 da. I enjoy that. But then again, like there is that bad aspect of, oh, nobody's in my stream, nobody's talking to me, or nobody's doing this, or nobody's supporting me, and but then sometimes you gotta look, what can I do to make myself happy instead of looking. I feel you look to the inside to make yourself happy, not worry about the outside people, because at the end of the day, when you're home alone and nobody's at your house, it's you. It's not the viewers, it's not the trolls, it's not your friends on your systems, it's you. You're the one at the end of the day that has the power. And yes, it can be hard to you know get over that anxiety or that depression, but I feel for some people they need that interaction with people, whether or not it's in an Xbox party or PlayStation party. Even if you're not playing the same game, it's that interaction with someone. There's plenty of times I will be playing a single player game and my buddies will be playing a multiplayer game, and we would just be in the party just shooting stuff, like and I think that part is what's needed. and you see these stories, and it's hard to figure it out if you don't suffer from it, their mindset. But I feel there's benefits and bad parts to everything, whether or not it's streaming, whether or not it's gaming, and dealing with these type of things, because other people don't know how you're feeling. They know how they would feel in that situation, but they don't know exactly how you feel. And has there ever been days that you said you were going to stream and just said, you know what, I just don't want to deal with the streaming part, I'm just going to game, like go back to the original stuff?
Yeah.
I know Rage does it, I know I do it. Sometimes I just want, that's why usually I take a break from my channel. I may do it on other people's channels, but that's different, different stuff. But I take that break to relax. And I think that's one of the reasons why I don't make a set schedule, because I shouldn't have to apologize for doing some IRL stuff or spending time with my kids and family, or just simple day-to-day stuff like get married. That's one of the I may not. So I think when you have a schedule, it puts that extra pressure on
Pressure.
you. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Because you feel that need
Yeah.
to please, to get them people in there to get their bits or their donations or their host or whatever, like somebody else.
Another commitment on your to-do
you're
list,
making it more
sort
of a
of.
commitment, so you're making it even more of a job.
Mm-hmm.
Hey JJ, how
Yeah.
you doing? That's why, like I said, I don't have a set schedule. I have streaming days, but I don't have a set schedule. Because if I'm not feeling well, or my kid wants to play, or whatever, my family comes first. My family comes first, myself comes first, my health comes first. And if I ain't feeling up to it, I ain't gonna try to push myself just so I can please other people. And I feel that's hard for some people sometimes, because they want to please other people instead of pleasing themselves. Like that's the main thing that I feel. But it's hard. I know it's hard to have that, F everybody else mindset, and focus on yourself. Because to me, we're all beautiful people. We're all different. We're all unique. That's what makes us people. That's what makes us unique. If everybody was the same, it would be boring. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's the way I see it. I that's why I watch tons of different streams, and I wish I could watch everybody's, but I personally can't. But I love just seeing their aspect and just talking to them, and maybe not necessarily. JJ.
Thanks for including us.
I know, right?
And
That's cool.
Thank you.
like Tango said the same thing. Sometimes, he's getting ready to stream and that anxiety just stops him from hitting that go live button. And I know there's quite a few people
Oh yeah,
that
it does.
Yeah.
And I personally wish that I could give the answers. And that's why I think streaming does kind of, I don't want to say, streaming does make that anxiety worse. Because even though you do have the power to push that button on and off, you still have that, oh, what might happen. And to me, I just say screw it, because I'm going to feel the same way if I'm not streaming than I am streaming. It doesn't go away. Like, streaming and my gaming family has helped me with a lot, it helped me go through a divorce, helped me go through death, many deaths actually. And if I didn't stream or, game, I don't know what I would do, because they helped me. Like,
Yeah.
it was that my IRL friends, when I needed them, they weren't there. So I'm like, F them. pretty much. And when like I met certain people, and it was just that certain group, and it just found that niche, and then that niche became oh, we're gonna stream, and then oh, well, I'm gonna join the community, you know and it just factored in from there. And then I got to meet other people that were likely mindseted, and that interaction, I think, ultimately can be helpful if you allow it to be helpful and not allow the bad parts of it factor so much. I think looking at the good more than the bad has a huge factor in it. Um, but yeah, that's all I gotta say. That's Joker's, advice for the day.
I think there's like the other extreme too, where like we get into that mode of like, I gotta stream every day, I gotta stream on my schedule, and like we feel a little bit guilty when we don't, but like,
Hmm.
um, get into that mode of I have to do it this certain way and that sort of stuff. I think that puts more anxiety on me because I feel for like I want to stream on my schedule and I want to be there, but there yeah like IRL stuff comes first and things like that. But like when you're wanting to like if your goal is to become a big streamer or to not even become necessarily like a big streamer, but just to get like a community going, like to build a group of people with you who all have similar interests and like who want to play together. Um, you start getting into that like striving mode and like you have to do things a certain way or like you have to achieve your goals, and if like you're not reaching your goals, then that gives you that makes you disappointed in yourself and maybe like disappointed in your stream, and like just all these different things, like if you're not meeting your own expectations, because sometimes we put expectations on ourselves that are a lot higher than maybe what we can achieve right now, but we're looking at the way distant future instead of looking at what we can do like today or even tomorrow. So I do that myself a lot, so I try to focus on, well, what is one thing that I can do to improve my stream or whatever today instead of just thinking about long term.
Exactly.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
So, anything else from you ladies and gentlemen?
One thing that I thought of that as a question is for people who do stream for a job, such as yourselves, maybe, or for like some sort of income, like what kind of stress does that put on you? Because like it is a term of like financial income, and like does that increase your anxiety because maybe you don't have a great stream or whatever, or maybe you have a few days of not having a great stream, like what kind of pressure does that put on you?
Oh, definitely. That's why I got a sugar mama. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, if I was doing this as a job, like a for real job, oh man, I would be stressed out like no tomorrow
Hmm.
Yeah.
because the money's not guaranteed. You're never guaranteed your money, even if you have a steady flow of people. You're not
Yeah.
guaranteed that money. You're not guaranteed to make enough money to pay your bills. You figure the average person has what, $1,500 to $2,000 worth of bills a month. If you factor in rent, food, gas, lights, car, gas, yeah, it's 1,500 to 2 grand usually. If you have all that stuff, because that's about what you're making at work, Vic. Most people average at a real job barely make ends meet. So when you're streaming
Yeah.
and well, I said average, sir, average pay. It depends on where you live. Like my rent's a grand, you know. That's just my rent. That's not counting,
Hmm.
my heat, my lights, my gas, my food, my electricity, my
Fun money.
cable, my fun. What fun money? There's no fun money,
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, if this was a full time game, oh, I would definitely be stressed out. I would, you know, I would
Oh
have to
God.
stream all day every day because I would need that money. Like, and then if you don't make that money, then you're kind of foobarred
Yep.
because you can't pay your bills. And that's why I tried explaining to my 16-year-old son, I'm like, hey, don't count on this as like a full-time job type thing. Always have a backup plan. Even if you're only working 20 hours a week, some kind of income where if you don't get nothing, you at least have that, X amount of money every week from your part-time job. I wouldn't recommend streaming full time as a full time gig just because of that. You can't count on that money because
Yeah,
people.
unless you're a huge streamer like Ninja or Tim the Tatman. So
Mm-hmm.
But what happens one day when that don't happen?
right. Well, I mean, they've
It
got so
can
much money
happen
saved up now, probably.
if they
That
save their
probably be all
money.
right. True.
If
Yeah.
they save
True.
their money. I mean, yeah, the bigger streamers probably have their whole lifestyle, and they keep doing it. They don't need to, but they keep doing it because they want more money because they're greedy. Everybody's greedy. I'm greedy. I ain't gonna lie.
I feel like
I want my money.
the few times that I've gone to Ninja's stream, I don't feel like he's actually enjoying what he's doing. Like he's just doing it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
Because like
true,
every time I see his face, he just kind of looks like he's just there, like mindlessly playing. Because he's just so good at what he does already that he doesn't really have to do anything, and people still show up. So
It's the new 9 to 5.
But
Yeah.
see, in my opinion, he was the same way when he first started streaming. But that's just my opinion. Like he was just doing it to do it. Like and like you get to that point, and either you keep doing what you're doing. Like I would be sick of Fortnite. Not
Yeah.
even gonna lie.
Yeah.
I can't. My attention span is not that big to be playing the same game every day.
Oh God,
all
no!
the
I go
time.
crazy.
I can't do it.
No one
And
enjoys Fortnite.
and you see you see his, but see when he played that, it was a different game. You seen his numbers actually dropped. He
Yeah.
was so
Uh-huh.
focused on the numbers, he went right back to Fortnite.
Yeah.
However,
Didn't they pay him a lot of money to switch over to Apex for like a day or
Yeah.
something?
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a
I
lot.
mean, but see, in my eyes, he still had a decent stream. Like
Mhm.
he still had quite a few people in there, and like Doctor Disrespect, he don't need to stream no more. He doesn't. But he does. He has fun with it though, and he plays a variety of shooters, and that's how, people know him as shooters. But
Sandwich Shroud.
yeah, yeah, I definitely could not do this as my only source of income. Like,
Okay, so what about a secondary? Would you suggest someone do this for extra cash? Do they need like a second job?
but see, it's touch and go. If you're starting out and you have nobody, no, you have to build that, and that's the thing. You build it, I mean, yeah, if I made 100K a month, I might play Fortnite too. I'm just saying that's 100K,
Oh yeah.
But it all depends. Like you can't say for sure that whoever could make it big. You never know. It could happen to anybody. Just one day, that right person just sees you and poof, you skyrocket.
Well, I also think like a lot of people who are big now have had some other platform that they've been on. Like a lot of YouTubers or YouTube streamers or YouTubers, whatever, have gone to Twitch or to Mixer, and so their communities have followed them to different places. And then like yeah, like you said, those connections. Like someone like there was that one kid, I do not remember his name, but Tim the Tatman like played with him one time and like did something surprised him with like a new setup or something, and like then he instantly blew up. And
Yep.
yeah.
Or like the people that Ninjas like surprised and was playing with them, and then all of a sudden that one dude that got that kill on him, and he was a nobody. I never heard of him before, and then just boom. So yeah, it's all personal preference, but I would always say have a backup plan. Always.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think unless you're really going to push to make it a job, and that still puts stress on you to like do the things that make you unique or like to gain the followers and gain the viewers, then streaming is not really a good job. It's more of a hobby. And if it becomes a job, that's great. But if you have that mindset in the original, if you're not planning to work for it, then you probably shouldn't do it.
But if you make it big, will that kill the fantasy though? But like, will it be like you said about Ninja? Like, do you have to keep going because now it is your steady income now? But like, are you still gonna enjoy gaming, or would you rather like do something else after a while? I don't know.
I mean, he's playing the same game though.
Yeah.
Well,
But do you think he
don't
wants
know
to?
if he streams like does he stream all day, every day? Is that what he does?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
I was
The
gonna say
same
if
game.
it was me, I would stream like if I was like that, I would stream for a certain amount of time, and then I would play the games that I want to play. If that was my mindset of getting money, but for me
I see.
personally, even if I made it big, I would much rather stay a variety streamer than to be playing a certain game that eventually I get tired of, because
Oh,
that
we
wouldn't be
ain't
fun.
even gonna discuss that
Yeah.
one right there because that
Yeah.
has nothing to do with that topic today. Because nope, I'm not gonna discuss that one because I have so much stuff and I cannot say it on this podcast what I want to say about that one. I don't feel she deserves it, but okay, let me rephrase this. I feel that something should happen to her, but people should not attack her. They should let Twitch do its thing and other legal services do its thing. You know, they done their job, they reported her, and that's what we can do. Because if they bully her, you're no better than what she is for doing what she did to that animal.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know.
The internet's one huge witch hunt every day,
Mhm.
different
You know,
target.
It's a different target. I don't agree with what she did. I feel she should be punished,
Mhm.
but I'm not the one that's going to punish her.
Yeah, it's not up to us. We can't just go back to the dark age
You know,
when you
because
pull out like your
if it
fortress
was
and
my case, if it was my choice, you know, she threw a catch, so she should get thrown over a cliff. But that's just my opinion, you know. You know, but she might not. You know, we don't know like what's gonna happen, and that's the thing. Like, I say, if you're gonna stream, just have fun, do your own thing. Don't worry about numbers. Don't worry about trolls. That's what you got mods for. That's why you got that little button where you can just get rid of them. Be
bang
you.
hammer. Yeah,
Be
you do you. I
regardless.
agree.
Regardless if you have one people or you have 2,500 whatever. Just have fun. Be the same way that you are now. I say don't try to be a fake personality because sooner or later fake comes undone. You know,
It shows. The audience
it
is just
shows.
stupid.
You know, it shows eventually. It might work for a while, but eventually it starts to show. Like, you can't hide it all day.
Don't put unnecessary stress on yourself to make everything look perfect. Most people enjoy when people like fail at something, but not in like they failed in like a actual way that hurts them, but like in a way that's funny and like they take it as a joke. You know what I mean? So like if you're
Yeah.
failing at a game or something, like Dee was saying before, like people like those kinds of things. Like, so you don't have to be perfect. Like you don't have to put up this front about something or make something that you're not. So.
Yeah, like Feisty said, do you, boo boo. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not even gonna. That is not a topic for this podcast today. Nope, no.
It might make you depressed. Who knows?
I mean, I don't care either
Oh,
way.
God.
My money's not going on
Back
that
where we
game.
started.
My money's not going on that game. I don't know about anybody else's, but mine personally is not going on that. It's going on Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes, absolutely.
You know. But I appreciate everybody coming by. Thank you, Queen and B, for being our co-host for this podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yep.
guys. That was
I want to
awesome.
thank everybody for stopping by. The host, the questions, greatly appreciate it. The next podcast.
Thank you.
You ready for the title of the next podcast?
Drum roll, please.
Have it.
Women and esports.
Boy.
Oh,
That's a good one.
it's a very good one. Because
Mhm.
we're gonna discuss why hasn't it happened already,
Sign me up.
and who do we think is
Rewrite.
gonna be the first ones to break that barrier? Because it is a barrier. and it needs to be broken
Yeah.
because there is
Yeah.
plenty,
Oh yeah, I know many who deserve that.
plenty of ladies that should be on,
Yep.
in esports,
They
and
need
I'm
the
surprised that
spotlight.
hasn't happened already. I say an all ladies team just goes in and cleans house and let that be that. But that's just my personal opinion, because I've seen plenty of lady gamers that can just mop the floor with them, but there's you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
see any teams. So that's going to be the discussion for in 2 weeks, 7 Eastern, same channel. Have a good night, everybody.
Only right here.
Bye.
Thanks everyone. Have a good night.